We say what they can't radio.
Hello, 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 everyone. Happy New Year. Welcome to another episode of What They Don't Tell You podcast, a podcast about love, marriage, and all of the things that no one ever tells you before you say I do. So today we have some awesome guests, as usual, but we're going to go in order. We have a awesome husband and wife duo, Stacy and Katrina. They've been married for 10 months.
Yeah.
And then we have Mr. Holiday. He's one of my fave people. Him and his beautiful wife, Sunny, have been married for 11 years. And you have me, Simone Goss, the host. So, we're going to jump.
How long have you been married?
You know what? You're right. So, we've been married for 6 years, almost 7. So,
Black love, black love.
yes, yes. So, I'm going to jump right in, right? So, this episode is called The Worst. When people get married, right, they say, for better or for worse. But nobody ever thinks about what the worst is. Like, what does that mean, right? I guess you think of little fights. For me, I felt like, what is it, a fight or something like that? Cool. But the worst for me, and, my husband came in our first year of marriage. That was, like, supposed to be the honeymoon phase, and everything's supposed to be great. Yeah. But I want to say we got married in May, and we were pregnant in like July.
Wow.
Now we had right. And so we had other kids, right? We have 2 kids from each of us have a kid from previous marriages. Mm-hmm. And then we had 1 kid together. Mm-hmm. So us getting married, we were supposed to be this was supposed to be it, right? Because the bigger ones were getting bigger. And then we only had the one, so no babysitter issues. We were supposed to be traveling the world and all kind of stuff. And then, I wound up getting pregnant. And that was really difficult because for me, I'm like, oh, well, we having a baby. And my husband was not at all pleased about it because he just wanted to be that newlywed, right? And so that came with a bunch of turmoil for us. Like, we weren't speaking. At one point, I felt like, I'm out, I'm leaving. Then I started looking up hotels and stuff because I was actually going to pack my bags. And I was like, wait a minute, hold on. Wait, this is $600 a night.
I'm going to say that's a costly way to leave.
Right. I was like, wait, hold up. Wait, okay, right. Let me stop. I said, you know what, after I saw, and, I wasn't trying to go to no little cheap, motel. So now I'm looking at Marriott's and stuff. And I said, okay, wait a minute, hold up. This may not be the best thing. And so, I wound up staying and we worked through it.
And that's definitely a newlywed thing. When you said you were looking for hotels, you know why? Because later in the marriage, when shit like that happens, you ain't even looking at the price because you like, he gonna pay for it.
Yeah,
you're right. You know what? You're right, because I was surely like, hold up, wait a minute. And how many nights am I going to do this? 3? No, matter of fact, all right, forget it. You know what? Let's just try to work this out.
Because you still have the sense of independence. You're coming off of being by yourself or not relying on a spouse or a partner. So it's quicker for you to just think, I can take care of myself and I can be out.
Right. I had a little plan for a second.
Yeah.
I did. Calculating, you're like, you know what? No.
Maybe I should just stop. So I started, unpacking my stuff because I said, this is probably not.
So you was fully packed.
No, I was starting to pack.
You were starting to pack.
Right, I had taken stuff out the closet and everything. He doesn't even know this.
He's like, no, you leaving.
No, it actually wasn't, but it wasn't that. But then I said, okay, because he was calling me. I had told him, I'm out of here. I'm not going to be here when you get back. So he's calling. I'm not answering the phone.
At least he was calling.
You're right. He was, because I did not think that he was after I hung up the phone. Mm-hmm. After about 5 minutes, he called back and he kept calling. And I told you I had sped home and I was getting my stuff. And then when I sat down and was looking at the prices of the hotels, I just said, okay, All right, I'm gonna pick up the phone. Maybe we should talk.
Hold on. You said at least he was calling. When you're married, he's always gonna call. You know why? Because it's women that grow up saying, "I want to get married and have a family." Men don't do that. So when a man marries you, trust me, he's gonna be calling. Y'all are the ones that do the stubborn. I'm not calling. Matter of fact, might not even answer our call. We're gonna call because we married you. That's different. When you find that one that you want to marry, you're like, whoa, where you going? Yeah, we're gonna be calling.
Right. You're right. And he called. He definitely called. And, we fixed it. It took a while, but that was the worst for me. And then I think he had said his was in year 6. So I asked you guys, what is you guys are newlyweds. So I don't know if you had any, but I'm going to get to you. What would be you know what? Do you believe in the 7-year itch?
I don't particularly believe in it. And I believe you get your mind towards something, that's how it's going to go. But I do believe in a marriage, there's a time when you start to grow in different ways. And in our growth process, as individuals, we go through things. And if we don't approach them with the right amount of communication in our relationship, it will cause a lot of problems. And it can even cause resentment. And that's usually around that.
What if it happens before that?
Oh, it can.
Right.
Sorry,
See,
I gotta get a little closer. Sorry.
I don't think anybody should get married too early. Because as men, not only the things we got to get out of our system, we have to learn ourselves. And not just learn ourselves relationship-wise, but just as adult men and grow into our own before we can be the man we are really supposed to be for a family. So a lot of times when we get married for love, we don't factor. Okay, we factor in the responsibility. If we're making money, it's okay, yeah. We just think responsibility is paying the bill. But emotional responsibility, structural, things like that, you have to be prepared for that stuff. Otherwise, you can create scars in your marriage that you're going to spend the next few years repairing instead of building.
Very well said. Very well said. 10 months in, I would have to say I needed to hear that 10 months ago. But truth be told, I think that when two people complement each other, things can work. But I also feel like, for me, I'm learning that communication is what makes or breaks our relationship. And when the communication is bad, you ain't gonna see me with a hat on. I put it to you like that. That's probably the best way to say it. I know that I've learned that in this 10 months, communication has been so crucial. When I don't communicate the right way, like I said, I don't wear my hat.
Keyword being the right way.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Because you know what? Like you said before we even started that, the first year is where you really have to learn. It's really where, okay, I was this single man, she was this single woman, and whatever happened before we were together, whether that person healed from it, whether that person grew from it, it shapes how they're going to interact with you. So, and vice versa, especially as men. Like if you were a man who was in a relationship that didn't work out for you and you never got over it, she's going to pay for that. She's going to be the one that has to deal with that. So I honestly can say, like, I walked into dating you without any of that scar tissue to deal with. But I also feel like because I walked into this relationship with children with other women, it's still egos that I have to deal with that sometimes shape my emotion and shape my reaction to certain things that sometimes she does pay. So I try my best to really just be like, okay, we're gonna put these emotions in this box. We're gonna keep these in the fridge. And then we're gonna go home and we're gonna enjoy life. But that doesn't always happen. That doesn't always happen. And listen, ain't enough ass kissing in the world sometimes. But you gotta try. You gotta really suck it up sometimes and be like, all right, I want to choke this motherfucker over here, but I love you, babe. I'm not gonna bring that up here. You know what I'm saying? So
not only that, when you say communication, it's important that you learn to communicate with your partner at their level of understanding. Because you can't lead with your frustration. Because you saying things how you feel may not resonate with what you need them to hear. Yeah, so you have to calibrate and think about it and say, okay, how can I express this in a way? I find myself tiptoeing around conversations all the time, or into conversations, because I know certain things in certain ways. I may say things, may trigger certain reactions, and then we miss the point of what I was trying to get to.
exactly.
That's a big word, trigger.
Yeah.
Trigger is a big word because I feel one thing that we do, I feel as though if you're most definitely married and you have a strong relationship with someone, you know those triggers. You know them. And it's something to be mindful of. It's something to be mindful of. So like how you said, just walking around like on eggshells, I can see that because it's just sort of like if Stacey doesn't effectively, so my pet peeve is, if you know something on Wednesday, let me know on Wednesday. Don't let me know on Saturday 2 hours before you're about to do something. That just does not work. That just does not work. That's a
11
trigger.
years married, I still have that issue. I don't feel bad. I still have that one.
Like let me, because for me, I feel as though then you are not considering my time. You're not considering what I can do, what I want to do. You're not respecting me as a partner because it has nothing to do with what you want to do. Fine, let's have the communication. But you wait until Saturday, and I could have had my homegirls, and I could have been doing something. I'm thinking, okay, I'm going to be a wife, and I'm going to spend my time with my husband. And then you're like, no, I'm going to the cigar lounge. Wait, why didn't I know about that? When was that planned? Oh, I talked about that on Wednesday. That does not work. You know? So, and I get it because from Wednesday, he's still trying to figure out how I'm going to have this conversation. Right. How I'm going to have this. How I'm gonna do it.
But y'all don't understand that because that goes. Listen. With us, y'all can at any moment you could say, "Oh, Susie just called me. She want to go such and such tonight. Okay, have fun." They're not like that.
No, we're not.
But that's where the adjustment is from because we don't have a problem with that. She tells me, "Oh, I was invited to this, but I don't know if I'm gonna go. Why not? Go have fun." We think different. It's just like, okay, cool.
Now, does she tell you that the second of, does Cindy call her and she's just about to cook you dinner? And she's just like, you know what, Cindy just called, so I'm about to hit the club?
No, but
and that's okay?
But because it doesn't matter because it's never going to be a problem. It's never a problem unless we had something set up prior. Something planned prior. It's never going to be a problem.
Holiday? It's Holiday, right, Mr. Holiday?
Yes.
The reason why it will never be a problem is because she will never do that.
No.
She does.
That's not true. No. So realistically,
It's the ports. It's the port. I told you the ports. That's why one glass.
As men, we often can have free time in our heads.
Right.
And because we can have free time in our heads, and you, as women, you don't live that way. So your free time is, oh, I'm going to go to the nail salon. Oh, I'm going to go do this. We don't give a damn. Go do it. Have fun. So I think because we think leisurely, I would say probably about 40, 50% of the time, that when you want to do something leisurely, it doesn't bother us. It's not like but you didn't ask me if I wanted to go. No.
Right.
Go
and
ahead.
then we're more sporadic.
Yeah.
Y'all
be having a damn day book with 30 different things y'all got planned, and we like, man, I'm going to play ball.
Women have far more structure.
Yeah.
Men, we prioritize, we feed whatever's screaming. So we prioritize whatever's coming up and whatever's immediate, and we deal with it accordingly, and we go through our time like that. Especially me, being an entrepreneur with several businesses, I have so much going on. Somebody can ask me, oh, what is early next week like for you? And you know what I say? I don't know. And personally, I don't want to know.
Yeah. No, I get that.
I want to move how I want to move when I want to move.
Oh,
and if I didn't want to do that, I would work for somebody else.
Yeah.
But this is how I structure my day, my time. So you know what? If you say you can't do that with me, you got to hit me Monday and say I want to get with you, and then I'll tell you, let's link Wednesday, and then I'll schedule you in for Wednesday.
But when
you can't talk to me today about next week. It doesn't work for me.
So, but when does your wife know?
When does my wife know? See, that's where I messed up. Like I said, still we still have that issue. That issue still exists.
And it's going on 11 years, and it's still.
No, it's at 11 years and still like that. And it's bad because I don't structure my life like that. So if I don't pay attention to it like that, like if you tell me I have something to do Friday, I had to go back to your text message multiple times to remember when things are. So for me to tell somebody else when I don't remember for myself, all my bills, I get alerts. I had to literally put them in the calendar on my phone and get alerts. Otherwise, it doesn't work that way for me. I have to be reminded. I need an assistant to remind me of things I need to do.
To-do list, man. To-do list. Well, I tell you what, I was walking the streets and I told my man about me. I'm making custom hats. So you come to me, you tell me you want a custom hat, I make it. It looks amazing. Great. But if you tell me Wednesday, I want to meet you so we can go over how I want to lay out my hat. If you don't remind me, if we don't sit down and I say, all right, I'm going to make a calendar invite for this meeting we're going to have, I'll honestly forget it. And there's nothing wrong with that because you want the damn hat. It's your job to remind me. Let's be honest.
So is it my job to remind you that you are going out?
That I'm going out? No, because I know I'm going out.
But let me ask you this. Here's an opportunity to get the answer from another wife. Why is that an issue? What is the issue? I want to know.
So,
because coming from my wife, I may not receive the answer.
So, okay, I understand both sides, right? Because I am that person, sorry ladies, I'm that person who I'm like, okay, wait, you said we're going to go where? All right, let me figure out let me find out, what is he doing? You know, I gotta, hey babe, what you doing, next week? Or, what's your schedule like? I have to do that before I can, tell him like, okay, oh, great, because I'm going out, right? So I have to I feel like I have to, not tiptoe, but like, how am I going to ease this in, right? Because I know he has a bunch of stuff going on. And then we have kids, so how do I ease that in? So I understand that. But then I also understand needing to just have that heads up. Because ironically, he does that to, he's that person. Like, he'll say to me, okay, I'm going to go out. The other day was a funeral. I swear he was talking about this funeral for like a week. I'm like, wait, this person still isn't buried? Like, what's going on? Wow. No disrespect to the dead, but I was just like, what is going on? Like, why you keep telling about this funeral? But I guess he kept reminding me that he was going to this old lady's funeral. So can you explain to us why
it's a problem?
We don't got an answer yet.
Okay. I guess you probably still not going to get an answer, but I wouldn't even say that it's a problem. So the problem for me is the lack of communication in the detail. So can we curse on the show? Okay. So no sneaky shit. So for me, it's like, if I know that you were talking to your boy for 2 weeks and you know he's coming in and then you're going to a cigar lounge, and this is nothing that we gone through. So thankfully, I'm just giving you scenarios because he always like, my mind is always elsewhere. You go into a cigar lounge, but then there's like a strip club and then there's all this other stuff. There's this middle stuff you always forget, right? And then there's that middle part. And then on Saturday at 4:00, you're like, oh, Joe is here. We just gonna link up. We're gonna go play ball and go to the cigar lounge. I'll see you when I come back. But then there's that other part that you failed to tell me about. And also, I have a life like you have a life. So if I think that on Saturday you're free and I'm an entrepreneur, you're an entrepreneur, we have kids, we work, that's our time. If we're not talking about this by Thursday, I'm thinking that we're doing each other. That's our time. But for me to find out on Saturday that this is something that you plan weeks ahead of time and you didn't tell me because I too have a life, I have an issue. Because it's just like, I could have been out. Because my homegirls, then I can't call them at 4 o'clock on Saturday because more than likely they already made other plans. But your plans are concrete. Now I'm just sitting in the house waiting for you to come home. That don't work.
But what is that with y'all? Y'all don't like being by yourselves? Y'all don't like yourselves?
I love myself.
I don't mean it like that. I mean like seriously.
I can answer that one. I can answer that.
When she goes out with her girls, 10 times out of 10, you know what I do? I go home and I be home and I chill. I sleep. I be by myself. I don't say, I gotta find my friends to go out because she's out. What is that?
Because men and women are different because we put you first all the time. So we will never think to hang out with our girls before you. Ever.
Listen, hold on. I got your back. I got your back. No,
we will not.
Put us first when it comes to time management and monitoring.
No.
You do not put us first when it comes to what y'all wants. When it comes to wants, y'all put y'all first. When it comes to time, y'all put us first.
No, I can't agree.
So
I can't agree.
What I will say is
I can't agree.
Is that
yes?
I can't agree.
When we talk about, okay, babe, I want to do this. My thing is, if you don't make plans with me, don't assume that I'm not doing nothing because you didn't make plans with me. Because that's not fair to me either. Because if I make a plan and you say, well, you didn't ask me what I want to do, you didn't ask me what you wanted to do either.
Okay, I'm going to rebuttal that. This is the
that's not fair. That's not fair. That's not fair that if I decide to make plans or if a man decides to make plans and he didn't ask you what you want to do, you were sitting there the whole damn time. You had the same 4 hours I had to ask me what I was going to do too.
Because you know
but
why?
You ain't asked nothing.
You know what's happening in those 4 hours? This is the 10 months in. You see, we're trying to get it to year one. This is...
Amen. Amen.
And y'all are going to do
it. So, because what's happening is we are waiting for you to initiate and make time for us.
This is a marriage. We came together. So you bring your ideas, I bring my ideas. It's not you bring your ideas some of the time and I bring my ideas some of the time.
If I'm going to speak for most women, I will honestly say that most women are initiating, they're planning, and they're doing the work.
As you should, and I'm going to tell you why. Because we already made the time for you. Because a man and a woman's perspective of marriage are two different things.
What's your perspective?
A woman's perspective is this is what they worked toward. This is what they were looking for. And they are now married. A man's perspective in general is I'm hanging up the jersey now. So now I've made time for you because I've forsaken everything else and put you first. That's it. Therefore, I've made the time.
Wait, are you saying that just because you got married? Because that's totally different.
So not just...
Yes, because being married is a responsibility. And that means, that says I'm willing to do the work. I'm here to be your husband and to put you and my family above and before everything else. And everything I do is for y'all. That's it.
Okay.
This is my life, and this is what I'm about. From this day forward, this last name represents us, and this is what I'm here for.
What
more planning do I need to do?
So to piggyback off what you said.
I plan our future. You plan the leisure.
So to piggyback off what you said. Ladies, ladies, ladies. Wait, ladies.
Okay.
So
all right.
I'm going to drink this port.
Let's answer me this, ladies, because you both seem to disagree with what he's saying. Is what he's saying wrong, and why?
I think what he's saying, let me tell you why I think what he's saying is wrong.
Okay.
Because, yes, you get married, yes, you forsake everybody for us and all of that other jazz, because we do that for you as well, right?
Yes.
Well,
but
hold on. Let me interject.
Let her finish.
But there's a reasoning behind it. It's because so if we look biblically, the makeup of a woman is to find a husband and create. So
I thought it was the man, he who find a wife find a good thing.
Yes.
Yes.
So, but
you're a founder.
but
No,
listen.
yeah.
So, but nowhere in the Bible does it say she who finds a wife finds a good thing.
Wait, well,
So in that same token, the man finds the woman, and what happens?
And I'm gonna tell you why you didn't forsake all others for me. You know why? Because at the end of the day, I mean, of course, in this new hot girl summer era,
Yes.
it is
Yes.
what it is.
Yes.
But guess what? If a woman's running around talking about she playing the field, and she forsaking that for a man, ain't no man looking to marry that type of woman. But a
Not
man
necessarily.
is supposed
Not
to.
necessarily true.
Ain't no man
I
trying to
said,
marry
why
that
is
woman.
this new era?
Oh, okay. I'm like, I don't know what you're talking
but
about.
listen, we're talking about the same era where all of the principles that we've been raised on are out the window. So I'm an old school man, so I'm speaking from old school perspective. A man, like I said, a lot of things a man needs to get out of his system prior to finding
Why
a
don't
wife.
you think a
so they
woman
can
needs to
respect
do that? So it's hard for me.
No one ever said a woman doesn't.
Okay.
We just
Because
over
with certain things,
speak the fact
she's
that that's
lost
what a
her
man
virtue
needs to
once
do.
she's done certain, once she's put herself out there in that way. Yes.
So
In my
so
opinion.
so this is
least
difficult
for
for
me.
me. This is difficult for me because I was never, even though this is my second time around being married, I never wanted to be married. I was never a woman that was just like, oh, I just need to picket fence and I need a husband. I was in my 20s talking about I can just go to some place and just get that turkey baster and have me a baby. Like I'm not a woman that
here you are
feels
for the
as
second
though
time around, man.
here I am, second time around, because I'm fine.
What did you feel your purpose was then, though? So I feel like
It's not about
a lot of people, based on what you just said, you have to look at life by purpose. What was your purpose? Right. What are you here to do? Are you here to just have a baby and raise kids?
But there's a lot of women that's doing that,
but
and they're
that
married.
doesn't mean that
Yeah, but they don't have a purpose.
But that doesn't mean they
They're
have a
lost.
purpose.
You got a lot of people out in the world that don't even know themselves.
Exactly.
That
That's
go
my
to school
thing.
all these years don't know themselves, so they certainly don't know their purpose.
And they're married sometimes in that same place.
Right.
Right?
But, and the classic designer things, a man, in my opinion, this is just my opinion because I don't know everything.
Go
and
ahead, Mr.
Everybody
Holiday.
has their own purpose. I believe when a man takes on a family, that family's future is his responsibility. Whether to build generational wealth, to create a structure that his children will be raised on and his grandchildren will be raised on.
Legacy.
And they'll go for generations. So therefore, that is the plan that I need to be doing.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else, like, it's just like decorating. I can give you my opinion on things, but personally, I'm not really concerned with that. And I shouldn't because
but
I'm
the
more
men
concerned
should
with
still,
bigger things.
but planning, you know, extracurricular activities should not just be a woman's job. We
Yeah.
have to be, like, I know for me, I love surprises.
Me too.
I like you to be able to think outside
spontaneous
the right,
and
like
initiate.
tell me, you know what? Get your stuff.
Yep.
Get your stuff packed. We're going someplace.
Yep.
Right, and wherever.
Yeah.
You
It
take
happened
you
every damn
took
Thursday- on
well,
Thursday through
no,
Sunday.
not every
Oh,
Thursday.
oh, oh,
But
oh.
again,
How long you been
but-
married?
but it doesn't.
How long you been married? How long you been married?
6, almost 7 years.
I feel like I'm on the wire. Remember when Marlo said you wanted to be both ways? You want to be both ways.
No.
Listen, you cannot. Y'all want that, but y'all gotta remember. And I don't know how it is at 10 months because it's been so long since 10 months for me. But you gotta have it. You gotta be prepared for that. And
do you
guess
mean?
what? We have a life together now. So understandably, you're not always prepared for that spontaneity and
No,
things of
you're
that
right.
nature.
You're
It is
right.
no
That's
longer,
true. That
it's
is true.
not like
That
when
is
we were
true.
dating to where every time we got up, we made sure we was at our best and prepared for whatever because this is what we were geared towards for the day. Now we have a million other things working in the middle, so it can't be both ways. It can't.
But it can still happen.
But
It can
every
still happen.
every quarter.
Right.
Every quarter.
Okay,
Like every
maybe
quarter.
not.
Just
Let's-
give me every
a
quarter,
dinner.
please.
Right, let's just say, listen, I got the kids. I took care of the babysitter. We on a dinner. All right,
Yeah.
forget the vacation. Just let's go to dinner.
Well, see, I don't know that type of stuff because, and my wife will vouch, in my life, that is at least 3 times a week going out to dinner. At least 3 times a week.
So you
These
guys
things,
got- you
my
do it.
regular life is geared towards how I want to live. So there's none of that. Most of the date night is at least 2 nights out the week. We do what the hell we want to do
Is that
all
so?
the time.
Oh. Well,
So
that's
10 months in, I'm trying to get on your level.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yo,
No, he is. Because I'm sitting here like,
I'm taking
like,
mental
really?
notes. I'm taking mental notes.
You see it, right? I'm like,
It'd be regular. Next time, tell me when it's gonna be a 10-year coming to the States, please.
To a 5-star restaurant regular during the week.
Oh, that's what you do.
Well, look, yes, this is regular stuff.
Okay.
Or date night, or going out to the movies, or going anywhere. That's regular
Okay, we're going
weekly
to change
daily
the
stuff.
conversation because it's just not making it any better. I'm like, oh.
Oh my goodness.
See, I'm not that bad after all.
I'm asking every quarter, and he's like, we do that 3-4 times a week. Get on my level.
Listen,
Okay.
fellas, you hear him? What'd you say? 2 or 3 times a week?
Yes.
All right, listen.
Yeah.
No.
I need a.
That's some good stuff. and you look amazing.
Wait, is it a mason that builds steps? It's a mason. Well, I need some masonry friends because they got to build me some steps. I got to elevate my shit. This is. Look. She knows I love her with all my heart, and I have a huge heart, And one of the things I will say is that I want us to grow spiritually before we grow financially. Like, I don't care. I'll be poor and know that she knows that I'll kill anybody in the street for my wife. Anybody. The money's gonna come. Like, there's money there. There's money everywhere.
But that's what makes it real.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like
What, the money? The lack of?
Let me tell you something. Just to give you a little history lesson on me and my wife. We got a big, beautiful home now, but we done slept in the project on an air mattress. And she made that feel like a palace.
I know that's right.
So don't get it fucked up. It ain't about the money. It's about the relationship. The money cannot build the relationship.
was that a disagreement or a yes? I agree. Because I heard a
Absolutely, I agree. Absolutely, I agree. Because I'm happy to hear a man say this because there's times that I feel as though I speak this to you, and you know, because I know as women and with our kings, we have to speak words of affirmation and we have to assure you, and I say certain things because we're both entrepreneurs, but I work a 9-to-5 every day. I'm in finance. So it's like one of those things. He looks at me, he's just like, you're going into a corporation and then you're coming home, then you're building a brand. And then on the weekends, you're still building something else. And I feel as though sometimes we have this, and I try to tell you this is not no battle. This is not no tug of war because you're my king. And I want you, I don't worry about that stuff. Do I get frustrated? Of course. Any person, male or female, when finances come to play and they're sort of like, damn, I just wish we had an out, or I wish I had some help. That's different opposed to my love for you, because that should never be questioned. And sometimes I get a little frustrated. So that's why, that was just like, hear that part, because there are people today that these relationships won't go anywhere because these women are like, what's your credit score? How much money you make? I don't care how you're making that money, you know, and that's all it's about. And that's not for me. For me, it's just, what are we building? Because I know your worth, you know, and there's no dollar sign to that.
I remember me and my wife first got together. I remember a dude said to her, one of the dudes that was around me, because earlier on in our relationship, she worked a 9-to-5. And I was in the street. When we first met, I was 100 miles an hour. So dude said, he looked at my wife, but at the time she wasn't my wife. At the time she was my girlfriend. He said, yeah, it's cool, but when the money goes, will the honey stay? And because looking at the current lifestyle, at the time I had like 3 cars, and you know, I was moving heavy in the streets. And some things took place, and everything went haywire. And I had to fall back and just rebuild from the bottom. And no, guess what? That guy wasn't there. Them dudes wasn't there, but guess who was? She was.
She was.
Yep.
So the thing is, the money can never make the relationship. Because when you don't have it, it's her that's going to build you back up, to make you feel like you can take on the world to go back and get it.
Yes.
Amen.
Right. That's some good stuff here. Whew.
I don't even
I
think
thought
she
we,
got
right. I thought we were just talking about you
We
going
just
to the
had
cigar
some-
bar. Now we talking about money.
Listen. So that brings me, actually, this is great because it brings me to my next question. You know, when it comes to entrepreneurship, right? And working a 9 to 5 and stuff like that, how do you handle if, you know, one of, like, okay, you're working 9 to 5s, whatever, and then one of the spouse, somebody decides, you know what, I want to quit my job. I want to quit my good paying job with benefits and all of that so that I can pursue my passion.
I'm gonna start with that one.
Yeah, I was gonna say, where y'all go?
So
Yes, how does that work?
I'll tell you what. I worked in corporate America. I ran some of the largest fitness companies in the Northeast. Did that for about 5-6 years. Was one of the highest paid managers of a fitness company. And then I realized I wasn't getting paid based on my education. I was smarter than everybody who was up here. And I said to myself, I can't do this shit. Like, it's not worth it. I'm making you more money than I'm making. And we fast forward, and I meet this gorgeous woman, and she has a dream to run a jewelry business. And I tell her, I'm here to support 100%. And as an entrepreneur, that's scary as shit because she works 9 to 5, I work for myself. So it's like, okay, baby, 1 month I'm gonna make 10 grand, next month I'm gonna make 2. So we gotta compliment each other. With her, she said to me most recently, this was like what, maybe 4 months ago? I want to leave this company and I want to run my business. I said to her, all right, I support that. Not knowing where the Lord would pull us, not knowing what would happen, I knew that regardless of where it went, we're gonna bust our ass and we're gonna make sure we can take care of it. As scary as it was for her, she's like, I don't know. I don't know.
You gotta
I want to do that.
You gotta support it. You know?
But I wholeheartedly was like, look, let's do it. Let's do it. Like, we're never gonna know what we're capable of doing until we do it.
Right.
I didn't
Until
do
we
it.
make the decision. so we haven't taken that leap of faith as of yet.
I didn't do
But
it. I'm listening
I
like
want her
this
to-
sounds so amazing.
Well, let it be a calculated. Let it be a calculated. Nobody saying just jump off a cliff.
No.
Let it be a calculated. leap of
Absolutely.
faith. But when you're ready, go ahead and make it because we've been through that. Well, actually, she didn't want to take the leap. I told her, fuck them. Everything you're doing for them, you can do for yourself.
That's a fact.
And start your own business. And she did that and has never looked back since.
No, and I get that. So, me, I'm practical, right? So the way I think, I have to look at things. I can't look at things for the next month and the next 3 months, because I've been at the place where I've been unemployed. I've been at the place where I've been given eviction notices, and it's just like I still have children. We have children, so I'm looking at the big picture. I said, how can I make this job work for me? Even though I work in corporate America, I have flexibility. I have a great 401k. I can work from home. There's things that I can do that I can make it work for me.
Right.
Now, is it soul sucking and draining being a creative working in corporate America like this every day? Absolutely, because it's just like you see this facade of this woman that's running these meetings and, doing all this stuff. Like, I'm booking travel all day for these executives, and I can't even book a trip for us. That's why I'm like, baby, I need you to do it because this is what I do all day. I can't go on Expedia or Priceline because that's what I do all day. I need that relief. But to piggyback on what you said, I appreciate the fact that he gave me the support, that he gives me the support. Am I afraid? Absolutely. Will the time come? Absolutely. But I am a planner. I'm not going to be, I think 5
very
years ago,
calculated.
Yeah,
I'm
take calculated risks.
I'm
Take small calculated risks.
extremely, it's like I have to plan accordingly and be prepared. I'm ready for the success, but I'm also, there's going to be those things and I have to be prepared for it.
But y'all
So
both just gotta recognize that y'all are great. And look at it like this way, right? Y'all work for these companies. And y'all work for these companies that y'all make, and they trust you to make them all this money. They know you're gonna make them all this money. And if you're smart enough to make them that money, you're smart enough to make yourself that money.
Absolutely. Right. Absolutely.
So one of the things that I try to live by is that if I was able to make a company $10 million in a year, why can't I?
You can.
Right. I say to myself, it's about the connections. It's about having these open lines to people who are flourishing to help me flourish. And I think a lot of the times what really scares the hell out of people is that there's so much unknown. You might know a guy who knows a guy, but you got to get to the guy who that guy knew. And a lot of the times that ends up being the hard part. So as husband and wife, I tell her all the time, like, listen, it's going to be that one day that everything. But we have to kind of chip away to get there. Right. And we set ourselves back when we second guess ourselves. We delay the inevitable when we feel as though I can't, when the whole time we've been doing it until we stop. Like I've said to her, I compliment you because I do all the things you don't like to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
You compliment
Besides
me.
book a trip.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
and she compliments
No,
me
he
because
does.
when I need her to kick me in the butt, she does it. And a lot of the times, that's the dynamic of most marriages. Is the wife is the one that kicks us in the ass that gets us in the high gear.
Can I have to speak on that because they're just being entrepreneurs. So my husband's a dreamer. Oh, but it's a beautiful thing. But there's times, right, where we're here. It's just like, okay, we got this business, we got this brand, and we're working on it. And right when it starts, it's just like, but this can go with this, so we're going to start on this brand. So as his wife, I'm one to always, and I'm still working on this too. It's like reel it in. Let's work with this concept. Let's get this out. Let's be successful in this area, and let's just see how it's going to go. Another thing that I've recently been saying to you, and I don't know how it was received, but I was just like, just make moves. Be silent, make moves. Because I want him to just take that stage. Because I just feel as though what happens, especially in our community, people are just sitting back, just waiting. Yeah, there's people that's just like, I'm your fan. I want to see you. I just want to see a successful black man and a woman and a husband and wife. But then there's those people that are so unhappy in their space that they're just waiting. And I'm like, your presence alone, babe, is so powerful. Just show up. You don't need to give them any kind of introduction. Just show up. So I think that's where, like he said, I give him what he needs and he gives me what I need. Like the one things that my brand is just like, I can create, I can take photos, but I'm like, but what content? I don't have a caption. I don't want to do this. I don't want to do that. That's where he comes in. And we are each other's biggest fan and cheerleaders. So I do know that he's the first entrepreneur that I've been with. And it is hard being an entrepreneur, being with another entrepreneur, because you're both, your minds are constantly, I'm not sure if it's the same for you. It's just like, you can be sitting there having dinner and it's just like, oh, I just came up with this. And they came up with something and you want their support and you want them to be about you at that moment and they want you to be about them at that moment. And I think that's where we're trying to,
We've been there, but you learn to balance it.
Yes.
Yeah.
In our marriage, we learn to balance it. Like, we're each other's support system. So at the end of the day, whatever she wants to do, she comes to me and I build on it. Whatever it is I want to do, she comes to me and she gives me the ins and outs. So it's like sitting in the huddle every time.
That's good.
So
that's amazing.
Because now you have a
I like
household,
that.
you got two
I like that.
entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And in my household, we have, I got a real estate investment company. We got homeless facilities. We got a car dealership. We got the body shop. We got the consulting firm. We got the music company. We got all these different businesses. And I'm sure I'm missing something. And she'll tell me that I'm missing something. But we got all these businesses.
That's
She's
beautiful.
an author. We have all these different businesses. Yeah. Oh, the cosmetic line.
Oh, we're gonna talk after this. We're gonna talk after
We
this.
about to be the new.
We're gonna talk
We
after
got
this.
all these businesses in the
Yeah.
household. We got all these different things going on. So can you imagine what the morning is like?
Oh, my
The
God.
morning is like 3 cups of coffee for me, 1 or 2 for her, and it's all over the place. It's
Yeah.
all over the place,
Yeah.
and the days go by like that. We're both all over the place all day, but we reel each other in. And I could be anywhere doing anything, and I'm calling her. Okay,
Yeah.
so this is what happened. So I'm
That's
running it
good.
by her, and so on and
Yes.
so forth. And
That's
this,
good.
and it'll come together, and it'll gel. And then what'll happen is, in what you do, that's your business partner. And what he does, that's
Yes.
your business partner. You
Yeah.
know why? She has the most vested interest in your success.
That's
and
it.
vice versa.
Yes.
That's it.
So
Yes.
I gotta ask this question because
That's
this
it.
came up a few weeks ago. Do you have to tell your wife that she's your business partner, or does she automatically know?
No.
No. Women, let me tell you something about women. Women are different than men in that way.
They need to know that. They
They
need you
need
to
to
say
know
that.
that.
shit.
Let me tell you something.
Agree with me. Agree with me, sis.
I have started businesses. And if I don't tell her she's my partner, she's like, I got nothing to do with that. That's how women are. Whereas us, let me tell you something.
It's like an inferred.
Our consulting firm is Sunny Legal Realty Group. Our film company is Sunnyside Up Films. The cosmetic line is Ambitious Beauty. On paper, I'm half of these businesses. I don't care. Hell, the dealership is Diverge Auto Group. My name isn't Diverge. I don't care about these things. I care about what matters, the success of the business, and how my register is. And how my bank account is. I don't care about that. We're not different. You know why? Because women care about titles. That's how women are. Just like the title wife, the title this. It's like you call a wife a girlfriend. And
Smack the hell
watch
out of
how she
Well,
react.
don't do that.
Smack
Right.
the hell out.
You shouldn't do
Things of
that.
that nature.
Right.
A woman will quickly tell you, like you could be speaking on them a couple, you be like, yeah, his wife. She's like, that's not his wife. They're not married. A woman would do that.
Exactly.
A woman would do that.
But-
Women are big on titles.
You know, but for me, with us, because we are both entrepreneurs as well, and I don't know, it's just an automatic thing. So with, the radio station or whatever, so on paper, no, I am not. He has a business partner, but I feel like I have a lot vested in this or whatever, because when you coming to me and we're talking about things or different ideas or whatever, you're speaking to me. We're having a conversation and I'm helping. So I automatically feel like, oh yeah, I'm.
I don't have to tell you anything.
Sis, I need that because let me tell you something.
Do you have a prenup?
No.
Okay, newsflash, you have no prenup. Anything, let me give you the legal aspect of it. Anything that is established
While we're
while
together.
we are together,
That's
half of
yours.
it belongs to you.
Right. So
Half
it's
it belongs
like,
to you. I don't have to tell you anything.
So
the judge and anybody else will
I'm
tell
gonna
you
chime
what it
in
is.
heavily right now because I told my wife this. When I started this hat line, my hat line is called Mr. Daniels Hat Company. Your fucking last name is Daniels. It automatically means you're a part of it.
No,
I don't.
No.
Hold up. It automatically means you're a part of it. I made it stink because I was like, when you changing your last name, right? You don't change your last name, you don't get partnership to shit because it's not your last name. You change your
Don't
last
look at me
name.
like that, Mr. Holiday.
You change your last name. You change your last name. All of this shit is yours. You feel me? I always make a joke. She'd be like, "Can I have some food?" I'd be like, "No, you can't have my damn food. You ain't ordered this. This ain't for you. Half of everything is mine." How is it half of my food is yours, but you don't want half of my business?
Right. I think that, again, I don't know about in your household, but if my wife is an author, and on her books it says, Sonny Smith Williams. On the marriage certificate, there's no hyphen. Last time I checked,
Your last name is Williams.
none of this shit, that man didn't have anything to do with building none of this.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
You are Williams.
Oh, yes.
So
I need to talk about
yes. So when you get married, you leave your damn daddy and you join your husband.
So,
That's a fact.
Oh my goodness. All right.
Listen.
So, wait.
Last time I checked, when the last
said
time
it's for
Black
better-
Power paid for the wedding?
You're right. Oh my goodness.
You on the wrong continent for that. You on the wrong continent for that.
No.
You are on the wrong continent for your daddy to pay for that.
Okay, let me go ahead. As all, just interject, please.
Please. Okay. All right. So
We're listening.
when my husband and I, when we talked about getting married, right? My father was still alive, but he was sick, right? We talked about it or whatever, but then he passed away, right? And I felt like, Dad, I want to
Have something of
have
yours.
something because
You got his
passed
DNA.
away. Well, that's what
You got his DNA.
You got his DNA.
You got his
You're
DNA.
right, but I didn't. But when I had the conversation with him, he said he was fine with the hyphenation. So I was like, okay, cool. Then fast
Did you ask
forward.
your husband that?
I did ask him that.
He said he was fine
He
with it.
said
'cause
he
that's-
was okay.
That's how it
at
always starts.
first, and then when you go on a doctor's visit and they're like literally just saying, because my father's last name is Crenshaw, so when they're like leaving off Goss and they're just saying Crenshaw, although it's there, he's like, wait a minute, I don't think I like this too much.
It's offensive.
And I
It's offensive.
didn't realize that. I would have never
very
done it if
Yes.
I knew that was going to be offensive. Fast forward. So I was doing some research because I said, I want to I'm going to drop Crenshaw. I'm going to just drop it and it's just going to be my husband's last name. Do you know that is super difficult to do?
It's extremely difficult to do.
You have to.
That's
go
why
through
you're supposed
a
to just
whole
drop it to begin with.
whole ass ceremony, like a whole. The lady told me she laughed at me on the phone when I called her. She was like, "That's why I be looking at y'all when y'all say y'all want to keep your last name." I'm like, "Are you kidding me, lady?" She was like, "No, you have to come down and do a whole new ceremony, fill out new paperwork." I'm like, "Wait, what?"
And
Just
you gotta
to
pay the
drop,
fees.
it's already on there.
how about
Just
this?
and you gotta pay. Just drop once.
Well, bro, you ain't got it that bad. You know why? Because on the paper, my wife doesn't have the hyphen. She just uses it. And I do one better. Her father wasn't even in her life.
Disrespectful.
Well,
Disrespectful.
but every
I'm daddy,
every girl wants her daddy. Every girl, whether they're there or not. But what I will say to you, Mr. Daniels, our paperwork says Daniels. It says that I was going to drop it. We did have a discussion. I have 3 daughters prior to him. Okay, their last names are not Daniels. So for me, it's just sort of like, well, let's have.
I'm gonna interject because I offered to adopt all 3 of them.
I was about to say, well, you can fix that. They can be Daniels too. You can fix that too.
Listen. This is. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you.
The first time I played professional basketball, I introduced myself. I said, my name is Stacey Daniels. They're like, damn, you even got a basketball last name. Like, the fact, like, I'm very proud of my roots. A lot of people don't even know where the hell they're from, let alone their background, their heritage, none of that. I will say this. My last name is my legacy.
That's it.
It's as simple as that. Some people be like, oh, you sure you want to use? Yes. My last name means more to me than obviously yours does because you don't like to use yours.
Right.
I use my last name wholeheartedly with no shame. And yes, I've said Trinity Daniels. I've said Jaden Daniels. I've said Monique Daniels. And I have no issue with that at all. So people like to use the term stepdaughter. When my daughters say dad, that is the most heartfelt, warming shit I have ever experienced. Because they don't come from me, but I treat them with enough love and respect that they feel comfortable to say that. Oh yeah, come on, baby.
Yeah, they ain't no stepkids. They're just kids.
Exactly, they're my children.
Yeah.
And they know when we go get my dad.
Yeah.
When they say that, they know. I'll whoop your ass for my child. No problem. No questions asked. You did what? I asked that question after I beat you. They know that.
Okay.
I can't.
No, it is huge. It is huge, and it is a big deal. So my children are older. So Monique is at the point that she's about to get married. So it's just like, okay, she's her own person. She's about to get married. She's about to lose Charles. So that's a separate conversation. Jaden just turned 19. He had the conversation with Jaden when she was 17 or 18. Jaden was open to it. He had the conversation with Trinity, who is 13. Trinity does have affinity in her love for, her name is Trinity Lazarus. So she's like, but that is biblical. It's Trinity Lazarus. That's the only reason why she didn't want Daniels, right? Because she's like, it doesn't roll off the tongue the right way, you know? That was my only apprehension because I don't want, this is it. This is it. Like we're doing this until whoever goes down first, you know, and our kids will be.
If I come back, I'm gonna haunt your ass if I go first. You ain't never gonna marry
and our kids are, because collectively we have 7. We're like the Black Brady Bunch. We have a lot of children, and I want them all to have Daniels, you know, and I want it as well. But it's just, I think for my reference, kind of what you said when you're like, you shouldn't get married too fast and all that stuff. I was still going through, unfortunately, if I'm going to be transparent, when we was dating, I didn't even drop my ex-husband's last name. He was just like, well, who the hell are you? So it's just like those steps. It was just like, okay, that was the first step. Now let's go ahead and go through the other step. And it's all of that. But am I Daniels? Absolutely. The other day I just created a page for my business page, and I don't even know if he noticed it. Like immediately, it was just Katrina Daniels. It was no Charles.
I screenshot it. Mm-hmm. I noticed. Trust me, I noticed.
Well, let's bring that to topic. Let's bring it to topic. You see how in a relationship or in a marriage, we are so submissive to y'all in the sense that, like, you'll say lack of communication when we're going out and things of that nature, right? But do you notice? We can have a problem with something, and it does not, something that major, and it does not affect the nature of the relationship. If y'all have a problem with something major, if we don't rectify it, there is no peace in the household. Period. You notice that?
Hold on. You know how they be in the restaurant?
I must have to.
That's true. 100%.
I agree. I think that you're right on that, and I do agree. I don't know why. I don't have the answer for that one.
I don't.
But you are right, and I will admit that he says I never, ever admit when I'm wrong or that somebody else is right. I am doing it right now. You hear me? He's right.
I admit when I am wrong at times.
No, that's not what I
it's
said.
a step.
Okay.
Like, you know,
So y'all realize it's snowing today, right?
These things.
We have
What
a major
did we come
issue with
into?
you. Right, if we have a major issue with y'all, or something that y'all need to do or don't do, we have a major issue. We will address the issue. We may be mad for a while, but the relationship moves on. If y'all have a major issue with something, if that issue is not rectified, that relationship, the peace does not.
There is no peace.
Okay, I'm going to speak on
The
that.
Revolutionary War in the house.
I'm going to speak on that because a woman cannot rest when we feel neglected or we're not heard or you're not taking care of the situation. That's where nagging comes in because we want to make sure that you are hearing us. We hear you because usually when a man says something, no, we do something about it. So the thing is, a man can say something and they say, you guys say with your chest, with your ego and everything, and then you go about your business, right? For us, we're just like, okay, he said that, but does he mean it? What's coming behind it? It doesn't even seem as though it's effective. It's just like you have to just use your words. With us, it's just sort of like we need to see the result because it's a different response. It's a completely, I don't know how you are with your.
We're not seeing the results. And we're saying, even though we're not seeing the results,
we still don't react
ruining because
that's a big word.
Yes, it is a big word. You know why? Because if there's no peace in the household, you are ruining. I cannot function well at work. I cannot do anything else well.
Right. I know that's right.
So yeah, it is ruining. We don't do that. If we have a problem with something,
You say
we
men
may
go through that?
No, we may throw a tantrum. We may go through it. No, we may raise hell. We do raise hell. But guess what?
Life
If
goes
that
on.
was Monday,
Tuesday is different.
Thursday, come Thursday, we on normal accord. If y'all raise hell about something and we do not rectify that issue, there will be no peace next week either. Or
Listen,
moving
life
forward, period, until
literally
that
is
issue rectified.
canceled. Life is
It ain't about
canceled.
hearing, it's about rectifying the issue.
I'm serious. Life is canceled if we don't rectify.
Right.
Like you
depends
could have
on
planned,
it.
you could have planned a $5,000 trip to Tahiti. Nigga, you ain't getting on that plane till we talk about this. That's how it is.
Right.
And then you have some people that's like, I'm getting on that plane without you.
Either way, there's no peace.
There's still no peace. Your ass could be in the U.S. and I'm there.
So we.
It's like shooting a bomb from New York to Tahiti.
Since I'm trying to make it to year one. I'm trying to make it to year
You
one.
can't get no. You know what? No, you can't go by yourself. You can't get on.
I'm like, where you going? Where you like? What are you doing?
The flight attendant said it's time to board the plane. Let's go.
Right.
We're going to talk about this shit on the plane.
Right, just
This
talk about it real quick so you can get on the plane, and then you talk about it some more when you get there.
Dig your feet in the sand. Let's talk.
Right.
So we're two stubborn people. We're two alpha, and we are.
I'm definitely too out.
Yeah.
But ego has no place in a relationship.
It has no place.
Yes.
Tell him that.
And not just in a marriage, in a business relationship. You can't show me one relationship that ego is productive.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
So, sir. Okay, I'm coming. All right. So here's another question that I had, and it's about lending money. So, should you consult with your partner before you lend someone money, i.e., your siblings, your parents, a friend? Should you consult with them, with your partner, before you lend money, or is it a certain amount? Like, should it be $200 and more, $200 and less? I don't have to say anything, but then $200. Like, is there a cap? And should you even do it?
I consult my wife for the most part on everything I do. But
It's good.
it weighs in whether it's personal or business. If it's family, I'm always going to consult her on whether or not I should do it. Period. If it's family. It don't matter if it's, you could ask me for $20. Mm-hmm. If it's family, I'm always going to consult her because on a spiritual level, because like you said, spiritually you need to be connected first.
Forsake all this for my wife. Exactly.
Right. On a spiritual level, you can't tie money with everybody.
You're right about that.
You fuck your money up. You can't tie money with
Absolutely.
everybody.
Right.
So it don't matter. The dollar amount don't matter. It's who.
Yeah.
So with family, we got to discuss that. Now, business-wise, I consult with her, but it's not the deciding factor. It's the way in. No, or let me say it better. Business-wise, I don't ask her, can I? Business-wise, I ask, should I? And 9 times out of 10, she's always going to be right. You know why? Because I am so motivated by success. So I may say, I'm a numbers guy, so I'm looking at numbers on paper. She might see other things and be like, nah, that ain't it. I don't trust it. And she does not have, in a lot of ways, like the techniques of business, she's a monster. But she may not have the vision I have. But guess what? I will make extraordinary windfalls because of my vision, but I will also take extraordinary losses too that she would never take because she won't take the risks I take. So she gives me my balance, and sometimes she reels me in when I was going to take risks that wouldn't be it. So yeah, I don't think you should ever. Now, don't get me wrong. I have loaned business partners money without consulting her, but it hasn't been in my business. It's got to be money that's not money. You know, that I don't consider money. Like, If you got a truck stuck on the side of the road and you're like, oh, I need to pay this company, and as soon as the check comes in, I got you. All right, cool. Give me that number. I'll call them. I'll make that payment for you. Something like that can happen that simple because it's not nothing really to discuss. But again, that's business. Now, had that been a family member saying, listen, I'm stuck on the side of the road, like, yo, you never guess who just called me.
Right.
What do you think?
Right.
Personal and business is different because I believe in business and business partnerships. We have responsibilities to one another, business related. Now, if my business partner tells me they need to borrow money for something personal, to pay one of their bills or something personal, I'm definitely going to my wife. But if it's within the spectrum of the business, I don't think it's necessarily necessary.
So to chime in, I am the blackest Jew you ever meet. I don't really lend people money. And the people that have asked me for money, I honestly haven't given them the time of day. And it's only because we've never had that relationship to begin with. So why would I lend you money now as opposed to any other time? Family? Listen, like you said, biblically, I forsake all others for my wife. My mother, when I was playing professional basketball, I took care of my mom, of course. Now she knows I'm not playing professional sports anymore, and now I'm married. My mom wouldn't even think twice about asking me. And that's my mother. So if my mother not gonna do it, nobody else. And I kind of have set a understanding where I got more kids than you. You know you better not ask me for money.
But that's why I said personal versus business.
Exactly.
I have a company called IIU, which stands for Invested in Us. And I fund minority-owned businesses. I sponsor kids from the hood to study abroad. So lending money is part of my practice. I borrow money. So from a business perspective, I got lenders that give me millions of dollars in funding because that's the nature of business, using other people's money and leveraging yours so that you can get capital from elsewhere. So from a business perspective, I'm okay with it. Yeah. But personal lending is different because I always say, people look at you and say, oh, you got this. Well, if I got more, that means I got more bills and responsibility.
Right.
So I should be asking you.
Right.
I should be asking you to borrow money.
Alrighty, well listen, I cannot, oh my God, this was so good. I can go on for another hour, but I can't because other people, you got rushing me out. But anyway, thank you guys so much for joining. Thank you for lending your all of your information and your personal experiences and all of that. I really, really appreciate it. Guys, tell everybody where they can find you on Instagram and all that other good stuff.
I'm H Warbucks, HWARBUCKZ on Instagram, and that's probably the only place.
Go ahead.
That is Be Encouraged, and that's actually Be Encouraged. 21 on Instagram, and Katrina Charles, but soon to be Daniels. Trust and believe that. Trust and believe that. On Facebook.
I'm only gonna plug one of mine. I got too many Instagrams. My personal and business Instagram is Mr. Daniels. Is MRDAN1ELS. On everything.
Yeah.
You come to get some hats.
You already know. I'm looking for
Yes.
You better tell him Smith Williams is because Brandon Williams.
Okay, that's what I'm talking about.
Okay, there you go.
The brand Williams.
Clears throat, exit stage left. There we go.
But thank you guys so much for joining us. Thank you guys for viewing and tuning in. And talk to you later. Bye.
Peace and blessings.